Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. So today we're jumping on the wagon on how to make the Dragon Wreath, and I've only watched one tutorial. So I watched Michelle from Monkey's Creations, kind of see how she laid it out, and then kind of just tweaked it a little bit, and we're going to do something a little bit different. So giving credit where credit's due. I haven't seen the original. Supposedly there's an original out there, and there might be multiple originals. People who have experimented, did it different ways, and that's the beauty of any wreath making design, is there's no clear-cut one way to do it. Everyone's going to add their own little spin to it, so this is going to be my attempt. So I will cover everything as we go through it, and I'm just grabbing some supplies that are in the way and taking them and putting them out of the way. So let me go ahead and get my comments up, because we're on comments from last week, which is not what we're doing. So let me make sure I can see you. Hi Valerie, how are you? I know I kind of changed, huh? I said we were going to do a mailbox swag, and then I was like, I had it on my schedule, and I'm like, oh, we need to just do this one, and then we'll do mailbox swag on Thursday. So it'll be Thursday morning if you want to join me for how to make a patriotic mailbox swag for your mailbox. So if this is your first time joining, welcome. Let me know where you're from. And a lot of times crafting connections are made on Facebook Live, so you just never know who you'll run into. I'm meeting a lot of people because we just moved to Washington, and I'm starting to find a couple viewers that are in the Washington area, so that's kind of nice to have. Hi Audrey, how are you? So if you want to keep this tutorial handy for when you order all your supplies and they get in, hi Cheryl, click the share button down below, and that'll share it to your Facebook page. So much easier to find when you get everything in and you're ready to go and give it your own spin. What else? If you aren't currently liking and following my page, if this is your first time, can you guys do me a favor and just really quick go click the like button? And the page like, the follow button is, if you click the like button, the three dots over to the side, if you click on that, you can hit follow, and then that way you'll be notified whenever I go live and you won't miss any of the tutorials. So, YouTubers, it's a Facebook Live replay that you're probably watching, although I try to upload it as fast as possible. Yeah, so if you want to join me and ask questions, come join me at Cat's Creations Wreaths on Facebook every Tuesday and Thursday. That's when I'm in the public group live. Hi Karen, how are you? Okay, I'm going to pan down and we're going to go ahead and get started. So, give me just 1 second, and I'm going to take you for a little trip right down to my board. We are using the Unique in the Creek ring board, and I think I always try to make sure you guys are like straight. I hate things that are off on a weird angle. So Unique in the Creek wreath board, and the challenge is everybody can make one. Hi Gail. But not everybody can make one that'll fit in a box to ship. So that is the goal tonight. So you're going to see me maybe making some last minute tweaks and changes, and that's to try to figure out, hey, how can I fit this? My cutting mat is 24 inches tall, and it's 36 inches wide. So right here at the end of this dark line is 24 inches. So our wreath, if we are successful, needs to fit in that space. And so that is the challenge. Everyone can make them, but they're not making them in shippable sizes. So that is my goal tonight. So the Unique in the Creek ring board measures, it's like 15 3/4 of an inch in diameter. I think that's kind of what I'm seeing, or 15 1/2. We're going to start by finding the top of our board, and the top is usually where you have the 2 extra holes, because that is for your hanging. What I've done is taken 6-inch zip ties, and I've utilized the outside spaces and the inside spaces, and then we're going to come back and we're also going to add ones to the inside space. And in all honesty, I'm like trying to think, why didn't I put the inside one in and pre-did that? It's just easier for you to see. We're just doing outside holes for now. But as we add our 2 outside, we're also going to come back in and add our midsection. So the kit, aside from the ring, you can purchase these components, and they are on Amazon. They are a kid's dragon costume is all it is. So what you're seeing, if you go to Amazon and just type in a dragon kids costume, you get the head. I'm trying to figure out where to put that. You get the wings, and somewhere around here is the tail. So those are the wreath attachments we're going to be adding to our deco mesh base. And so this is the area that we have to be concerned about, because even right here, the wingspan, as long as we can keep it within the widest part of the wingspan, it should, hypothetically, should fit in a box. The tail obviously is going to kind of be, you know, something, it depends on how you want to do your tail. You can have your tail, you know, fling out. You can have it go straight down. You can have it kind of to the side. That's going to be user preference, but, and you can get these in a ton of different colors. Right, Kathy? That's where I saw it too, is Michelle with Monkey's Creation. She's made a couple variations. So this is my take on just watching her video on that. So mine's going to be a little bit different. She did wings at the top, and then she did her dragon head in the center, which is fine. People, as you've seen them, kind of have their dragon tail off to the side. We don't have claws. I think you can buy claws for your dragon costume on Amazon. I just haven't incorporated them. I just kind of went with this because I know a couple people that I know like this look. So that's why I'm doing it. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to work on the head first, and the body is super simple. We are going to, I'm going to remove this and take, or just not remove it, I'm going to cut it in half because I'm not going to be using the mask portion at all. What you will need to do is purchase dragon eyes, and I'm looking for my case. You can purchase them in 25 millimeter or 30 millimeters. I went with a 30 because when I watched Michelle's first one, she's like, yeah, you could go 30 and those would look perfect. So I went with a little bit bigger. So you get a whole bunch of different colors. And like I said, the costumes come in blue, green, red, black, and there's another color I can't think of off the top of my head. But ordering the eyes, the 30 millimeter eyes, you get blue, gold, red, green, a mixture of the two. I opted to go with these ones. They're really nice because they're kind of a glass or resin to the top. So we're going to attach our eyes, and all we're going to do is we're going to glue our eyes in. So you can see this on your side. We're kind of making our dragon look like this. So we want to make sure, A, that his eyes are, the slits in his eyes are going straight up and down, because vertical or sideways just does not look right. Okay, so we are going to make sure our eyes are centered and straight up and down, just like that. And I keep these off to the side. And I have a little indentation that I marked on my mask where I need to make sure that I keep my glue. So I'm going to put a glue there and a little bit of dab of glue here. Making sure my eyes straight up and down. I have a little bit of time to work with that. Let's get that one straight in there. Okay. That one is in like Flynn, baby. Okay. And I'm not happy with the way that it's setting up. So I'm going to add more glue to the bottom now that I put it in the right place. Because the last time when I set it in there, I thought I had it up and down, but it's not up and down. And then we're going to go ahead and do the other side. Up and down, right? And of course, that one just fell out. Alrighty. Well, gives us one more chance to put these in. And we're actually going to be adding a back to it, so that will also help. So let's go ahead and re-glue our eye. Make sure it's straight up and down. Okay. We're going to do one at a time. And then what we're going to do, because there is a gap on either side, and you can't see it really, but there's one here and one right where my finger is. We need to close that gap up. So we're actually going to take felt, and we're going to lay our felt right over the top. And that will help keep our eyeball in place. Okay. Right over the hole. So now, let me get that glue thread out of there. Okay, come on. Now we have solid dragon eye in there. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so let me measure this and figure out where this needs to go. We want to make sure his eyes are the same space and the same direction. So it's kind of like a plastic, like a rubberized piece. So I am aligning this part with glue, this part with glue, making sure my eye is straight up and down. And I think we've got a straight look on our dragon. Let's make sure we hold those so they set. This is perfect to do now so that when we get ready to attach the dragon to our wreath, everything is in place. It's kind of cool. And then I'll flip that over, and I have another piece of black felt, and we'll trim that up. Do the same thing. Make sure we have a really good base, and then this just fills in the space behind the eyeball, just like that. Okay, and I think we're done. Ta-da! Look how beautiful he looks. Mama. There we go. I'm trying to make sure he sits in there. Yes, Peggy, thank you for asking that. Will you be posting your affiliate link for the eyes? Yes. So YouTubers, look in the description box. For those of you that are watching this live now, I don't have it posted, but I will. I wanted to make sure these would actually fit before I told you how to order them. And then the felt I just got from Walmart. If you just go and you buy a big package of felt, you can just cut it to whatever size you need. Karen asked, where did you get the eyeballs? They are from Amazon. And you just type in dragon eyeballs, and it's going to be 25 to 30 millimeters. No, Linda, it's not that difficult at all. You just kind of pop the eyes in, glue them, and then we just added a felt backing so that our eyeballs stay in place, and then it gives it that extra support on top of the mask. So I'm going to set the face part aside for now. And these are the eyeballs you get. So you get a ton. I think there are, let me look, does it say? 20 pieces. So you have enough to make 10 dragons. Or you just have your dragon eyes. So I will be posting the affiliate link when this goes to replay, and I can go retrieve those links for you guys. Okay, so we're gonna grab our board. We're gonna add our hanger. So I just have some red twine, or red cord. and we are going to add our hanger. It's always good to add the hanger, right, at some point. So I'm going to go up, around. Guess we can do it this way. And I want to give it a little bit of an extra longer hanger. We can always pull this back and tighten it if we need to, because we have the wings, right? So I want to make sure that we have enough here with the wings that we'll be all set. Okay, so prep things that I did, because I watched Michelle, and it seemed like she struggled a little bit adding the wings on. So what I did is she took a pointed awl, and she kind of lined this up with those 3 holes in the center. And she had hers up a little bit higher than I liked. Hers were up about here. And then she just poked 3 holes, went through the back side. So one side is perfect. Oops. And the other side has the straps for if you want to wear them, because it's a kid's costume. So she poked 3 holes in there, and then it seemed like she had a difficult time trying to put those in after she had the mesh on. So what I did is, I wanted you guys to see that it was a costume. Now that you've seen it, we're going to remove these because I don't want them on there. And mine were a little bit different than hers. Hers had like a hole. It looked like a little backpack kind of thing that went on. So what I did is those 2 holes that we lined up here for our hanger, those are the 2 holes that we're going to be used to attach our wings when we're finished. And what I did, because I didn't want to use an awl, is my wood burning tool. I took my wood burning tool when it was hot, and I basically just plunged it right into the foam until it came out on the other side, right over those 2 holes. And then we're going to be attaching it from the top on those 2 holes with our zip ties. So that's how that's going to factor in. So that is a little pre-prep that I did, and man, did that smoke. And I don't think my wood burning tool liked it very much going through that thick, because it's, I want to say it's about 1 inch thick of foam, but it made it all the way through. So that's how we're going to be attaching those later. So color choices. Well, that was a difficult jump there, because we're dealing with, it's a little bit black, but mostly red, right? I chose, at first I introduced black, and black just kind of felt a little too dark. And so what the ring is supposed to represent is the dragon kind of curled or coiled up on itself with the wings and then the tail. So I chose to pick a color. The inside ring here is supposed to represent the belly, and then the outside is supposed to represent, you know, whatever colors to match the scales. So these are the color choices that I picked. I picked this red with a gold. I thought it would be pretty because dragons in gold, right? Like Smog from Lord of the Rings. This is going to be my belly color. And then I went with a really like a red for the center of the dragon. And then I went with a little bit of a darker burgundy to the outside. So these are going to be the colors of my scales as I go around the design. So let me show you how we're making the petals. Okay, petals are super simple. Let's put the head over here. You are going to take a wood burning tool, and you are going to wood burn 10-inch pieces of mesh, 10 by 10. And then here's how you're going to fold them. You will need zip ties, because you know me, I'm all about zip ties. You can use rubber bands. I'm just not a fan of a rubber band. So I'm using this 6-inch zip ties. And what you're going to do is you're going to take finished edge. You're going to put it on the diagonal, and you're going to go from the top corner all the way down to the bottom corner. And if you fight with your mesh too much, it's probably that you don't have an exact 10 by 10 piece. I've noticed that. Sometimes I'm like 10 and just a little bit over, and I have an overlap, and then I'm struggling to get the piece to line up. And it's just because I don't have a perfectly squared piece. So we're going to do as best as we possibly can to make sure that those are even. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the bottom corner, right here, bottom corner, and we're going to bring this all the way up to the top corner and make another triangle, just like so. And we're really focusing on this corner because this is the corner of our scale, okay? And you can see that it's already kind of, it almost looks like a Star Trek logo, like the little badge or emblem. And then once we do that, we're going to take this bottom corner and we're just going to bring it up even with the other corner and make sure you have a straight line, okay? And then this little bottom piece has a tendency of kind of arcing, which I love. So that is the look that we're going for. And then here at the bottom, I'm just holding it together. And I'm going to put a zip tie in it just to hold it. It just makes it easier to load on the board too. And then we're going to snip this off. Okay, that's the petal method. And so it kind of opens, and sometimes the outer one piece kind of slides, and I didn't like that. So what I did, here's my variation, is I took my glue gun, I opened up the little pocket on the inside, I put a dab of glue, and then I sealed the deal right here and put those two pieces together. Take a clothespin or a clip and just clip it until your glue sets up. And then that is going to keep the scale, like when I design something, I'm pretty precise on exactly how I want the final look to turn out. So I really wanted a prominent point, and I didn't want them big and like some people, it almost looks like, let me try to find a different piece here. It almost looks like they kind of just folded it once. So here's our triangle, right? They folded it once, and then maybe they kind of do this thing, this kind of petal, and they put that in the center. So I just didn't like that look. I wanted everything to look like scales because that's all about the dragon. So super simple. I'll show you how to do this again. 10 by 10 piece. We fold it. Here's our finished edge. Cut with a wood burning tool. We're going top to the bottom. And try to square it up as best as you can. You don't have to be super perfect. Okay. We're taking this bottom corner right here. I'm just going to bring this up to meet my top corner. We're keeping that line nice and tight. And then we're going to take this bottom corner and match it up to this corner here. And that creates this weird, can you see it? It's kind of like a weird shape. It's like a shark fin, an over-exaggerated shark fin. And then I'm going to zip tie the bottom, just like this. Snip the excess off. And then, like I said, you can leave them open. I just wanted them a little bit more precise. So, bead of glue, just right here. I know it's going to bleed through the other layers. And then from here, I just put a clothespin on it so that those can dry. And then I get that really nice, sharp point. So that's the only way that I have figured out how to do it, to give yourself sharp points. So we're going to go ahead and start loading our board so you can see what they look like. And then you have your choice of how do you want them to go. What I noticed is if you place them this way, you have the frayed cut edge here on the outside. So I like to lay them this way. So this way you have scales of the dragon going all the way around, right? So I am going to lay mine We're going to start here at the top on the outside. I'm going to slide that to just under my zip tie. I'm going to put that in nice and tight. Snip that off. Doesn't matter about the ends. If you want to cut the ends off, you can cut the ends off. There's no need to do it. It'll just kind of help fill in the board. Same thing. This is our glued side. I'm going to place that in the same exact direction because this is the belly, right? The belly of our dragon. Let me grab my zip tie because it's kind of twisted. I'm going to place that one right here. Okay, snip it off. And then we're going to take the bright, bright red. And we're going to put the bright red right in the center. But we've got to put in a zip tie. And depending upon how these lay and how you like them, you might want to toggle. Like I'm using the shared hole from the outside in the middle for this. So I'm just going to lightly thread that through, making sure that my scales are going in the same direction. So the raw edges are to the inside. And I'm just going to overlap that. Okay. And that's how that's going to lay. And then we're just going to repeat the pattern all the way around. And no, I don't have this pre-done. So you guys are going to have to bear with me all the way to the end. But I do have all my petals done. So we're just going to be loading the board, which should be super simple. Okay, there's that one. We are going to do our outside piece right in here. And I'm trying to keep the scales the way they would go, kind of like this little look here. And we need our one to the inside. What I'm going to do is take one of my inside pieces and see, do I need that to line up more to the outside or more to the inside going around? And I think on this one, I'm going to go more to the inside. So instead of going shared hole outside, I'm doing shared hole in the middle. Okay. Just like this, right above my zip tie. And I like this because using the zip ties, number one, I don't have to worry about them breaking. I don't have to worry about the customer going and pulling on these because you can adjust them slightly. And then I don't have to worry about them sliding out. So that's just something for me. Okay. And then you can trim these up. I have a weird edge on that one. We'll go ahead and slide that in. There's that. Here's our inside piece. Let's get our zip tie that went on the other side. And on our center red, we are going to do outside hole. So this will go outside and come up. And then go ahead and make sure that all the petals, or in this case scales, face the same direction. And you can see how that nicely makes it look like scales. While I'm doing this, what questions do you guys have that I can answer for you? You will need 16 pieces of each color, depending upon how thick you want it to be. That's a great question. Door Gems asked, do you think this process would work on a wireframe, or there would be too much movement? I don't know. Here's the thing. I would try it. Like, build your petals. Like, maybe make 6 of them. Put it on a wireframe and see what you think. That's the only way you're going to know for sure if it'll work or not. is to give it a go and see if that would work. I just like the structure of the board. It creates the stability that I really like. And see, I'm trying to make sure that my inside pieces kind of stay smooth looking, like the belly of a dragon would. Not that I would know. And then we have that one. We're going to take our inside piece, and because we did inside, we're doing outside hole. So, inner hole, so it's going to go from here up through the center. And then this one is going to tuck in here. And I think because of the way that I have shaped the petals on this and glued them down to a point, I don't have them quite so fluffy. It's going to keep, I'm hoping, because we can always push these in if we needed to get it to fit in a box. And then the customer can just pull their inners or outers to whatever desired look they'd like. So there's that one. I'm going to place this one here. And then this one we're going outside hole, meaning we're sharing the outside hole. So I'm going to go down through the middle and up through that outside hole. Just like this. And I just chose to do it with shades of burgundy and red rather than try to incorporate black. Black just looked way too powerful. Like, look, here's the black. I did a black, but it just looked weird in here. So I chose not to use black. Grab 2 more pieces. Where did you buy the dragon mask? Maria, it's actually an entire costume. And you get the wings, the tail, and the head from Amazon. Let's see what else. I will show you guys again how to make the scales that I did. This board, Cynthia, is called the Unique in the Creek ring board. It just has the hole in the center. So, and I believe, I know Hobby Lobby is starting to carry Unique in the Creek products, but I think they're starting with the large board. But I buy like 5, like I go to Amazon and just buy them in bulk. And so I'll buy like 5 ring boards, 5 triangles, 5 of the cross forms. And then I know I always have something on hand. Because somebody will undoubtedly come up with something like a dragon. And you're like, oh, that is way cool. I want to figure out how to make that. So we got outside hole here. So we're going to go inside hole. And you could thicken this up even more. You could put 4 pieces, you know, and have one in here as well if you wanted. I just don't think you need it. So, and my whole goal in making this is to find out how can you make one that you can ship. Can you make it small enough that you can keep it shippable, right? Here is a red, we need a burgundy, and then our inside. So just having your board preloaded and having your petals done just makes it easier. And see, I like how this belly looks. Like it's actually able to keep that raw edge covered with each next piece that we lay over the top. And I just like the Unique in the Creek boards because, like I said, it gives it support and it's already got all the holes drilled. So no matter what design you like, everybody's using the same board. The holes are exactly the same. Place that one right in the center. Just like that. Cheryl. So she said, I love those colors. I agree that the black is a little too much. I had thought about maybe taking the black and laying it under the red and just making it a little darker. But I was like, man, that's taking like 4 rolls of mesh. That's a lot of mesh. And I missed one of my zip ties here for the outside hole. I don't know how I missed that one, but apparently I did. And like I said, you can cut the excess tails off. I just find it it helps to darken the board. Here's this one. And see, that one in the center is enough to cover that gap. So we did outside. So now we're doing it inside, which just means I'm using the shared inner hole and the middle hole. As soon as I can find the middle hole. And make sure they're always laying the same direction. And let me look at how far we have these right now. See, we're trying to keep it. Here's our box height, right? Here's our box size. So far everything is lining up perfectly to where it looks like it'll fit in a box, which is what I want. Because there's no sense learning how to make them if you can make them, but you can't ship them. Because, you know, shipping would just be way too much. So I'm hoping this method will yield the result I wanted. I wanted it tighter fitting. It is still nice and full. Okay, we're doing outside hole here. So we're going in the middle to the shared outside for my red. Right in the center. These are great if you guys are doing craft fairs coming up for Halloween. Laura says, how do you think poly burlap would look? I think Michelle from Monkey's Creations did a poly burlap one. But she just did it a little bit differently than how I'm doing this one. I personally, for me, am not a fan of poly burlap just because it frays so badly. Okay, there's one. And here is our second. Always making sure. I always want to make sure that I'm not putting in my petals backwards. I want them to look like he's curled. And now we're doing shared inside hole. So in here, and then we'll just move the other one to the side. There we go. There's the middle hole. And I like the fact that even this is going to reinforce the other one right before it. Just by laying them on top, it kind of helps the integrity of the design, because then it's all not going to worry about things pulling out or things fraying. Okay, a red, a burgundy, and our belly color. which is the red and gold. All the deco mesh is from Craft Outlet. So I'm just using, this is a high foil, gold and burgundy stripe for my belly. And then we're just using the wide foil burgundy color for the outside. And then the red is wide foil, just the solid red 10-inch mesh. All the pieces are cut to 10-inch pieces and then just folded into that scale shape. So there's one. And no, I've never made it. I wish I would have had time to pre-make one, because that's always like a wreath maker's worst nightmare. What if it doesn't turn out the way we want? What if it looks weird? What if we can't figure out how to attach it? But ultimately, we figure it out. But yeah. Okay, here's this. And this. Let's go ahead and continue to add them. Right to the outside. What other questions do you guys have? Hi, Virginia. Hi, Karen. Anna, it's going to be a dragon. And Jamie, the mesh, like I said, high foil for the striped color, and then wide foil for the red and the burgundy. And then I'll show you guys here in a second, because we have to make another petal. I have two pieces that I kind of held off on doing, because it generally happens on a live. People join late, or sometimes there's issues with Facebook going in and out, so I thought we'd save two for the end. To reiterate again, this is how I chose to do scales for the dragon. One of each color again. Here's my belly color. And we're using a kid's child's costume from Amazon, which I'll show you here in a second, once we get ready to attach the pieces to the wreath. And this just opens up a world for everybody else, you know, to look at costumes and decide, hey, can I make a wreath using attachments from a costume? So that was the inside. Now we're going to do outside. So I'm just toggling the inside pieces. So now we're going to do shared outside hole. Just like so. We're almost finishing up. What do you guys think? Do you think it kind of looks like a dragon scale? I love the way this looks all together. I think that this just makes a beautiful wreath just by itself, just doing this cool pattern. The red and gold mesh, Virginia, is from Craft Outlet. So it looks like, where did I put my mesh? On a roll, it looks like so. It's just red and gold. Oh, Evelyn, yeah, I agree. The first one I saw was red and blue. So I was like, oh, that looks really cool. I know so many people that would love to have one. I personally, I mean, it's cool to make it. For me, it's just not a look that I like, but I know that there are quite a few people who do. So I'm just making sure that, number one, my insides are staying smooth the way I want the inside belly to look. And then outside. we're doing, I think we're doing inside hole. So here and here. And like I said, you could come in and add, you know, you can use one that's a shared inside and a shared outside, but then I think your wreath wouldn't lay as flat. It would want to fold up just based on how, you know, everything is laying in your wreath. Okay, we're down to this one. And I do need to make another burgundy. 1, 2. I'm looking to see. Oh, I have one on the floor. I was like, wait, we should have one more. Okay, so let's go put these ones in. My zip tie just rotated around. There it is. See, it's going to change an entire design. I love the way this design looks. I just want to make a wreath like this. I think this would look really good for like Chinese New Year. Think about that. Or the Year of the Dragon for Chinese horoscope. Or people who follow that. There is that. Okay. Now our red one is going to be shared outside hole. So we are going middle and the shared outside. And we'll lay this one right on in. Make sure our zip tie goes right over the top of the previous, and that prevents anything from pulling out. And now we're going to add the last one. But before we add the last one, let me show you really quick how we did the petals again, because I need to create those last two. So we are 10-inch piece of mesh, finished edge. We're putting it on a diagonal. Right? Poinsettias too. Jamie says that's what it reminds her of. So we go from the top corner, bring that all the way down to the bottom. And you're just going to try to match up the ends as best as you can. It's not going to be perfect. And you're just going to take this bottom corner right here and bring that up to your top corner. Sometimes it just doesn't want to. Like, I'm all about precision, so I just want it to match. And then it turns into this wonky Star Trek shield, right? That's what it looks like. And then what we want to do is take this bottom corner here and bring that right up and make it match to the corner at the bottom. So then you have this little pocket thing going on. We are going to take a zip tie. We're going to zip tie that down so the petal doesn't come undone. You can leave it like this, but how I got my points so precise is I took these ends because I really wanted a sharp, like, defined little point on them, like this. And so I just take a bead of hot glue, put it right inside my pocket, push those 3 layers down, be careful not to burn yourself, and then I just take the clothespin and clothespin that together so it'll hold that in the exact shape I want it to be. I don't want it to like fan out, I don't want it to fluff out, I want it to stay closed. So same thing, finished edge 10 by 10 piece. Trying to make sure it's in the center. Go corner to corner, just like that. And mine are all wood burned, so to help with the frays. And then I'm going to take this corner and bring it up to this corner. Okay, keep my points because we're really trying to focus on this point. And then we're going to bring this corner and bring it over to this corner. So just like that. And when you do that, it automatically puts that little bend in it. So we're going to zip tie it, or you can rubber band it. Just like so. We'll zip tie that off. And then we will add our, see right now it just stays open like this. I like them to look a little bit more flat and stay flat, because we know that with weathering, stuff's not going to stay tight. And I'm going to put my clothespin on it so that that can dry close. I think I need one more zip tie for our center. Those are done. So any questions you guys have on that so far? Okay, let's go ahead and finish up. So we're going to finish in this little tiny cavity, and because remember when we created the where we needed those holes available for our wings, I'm cutting these ones down, and so that those holes are open, so I don't have to struggle so much with my hole. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this one too, just so it will be easier for me when I go to attach my wings. There we go. Because here's my red cord, so I need to make sure that I can get in there to put those in. So I'm going to put our last piece in. Just like that. Take our outside piece. I'm going to make sure my hanger's out of the way. Lift up the one prior so that you can access your hole. And our last thread. And we did shared outside, so we're going to go shared inside hole here. So in and up. Yes, I wanted to make sure my zip tie was the right way. Let me make sure I cut this off. You can do that on all of them if you'd like. Okay. There is that. Now we can lay these in the order we want them to be. And see, what I'm saying is we can tuck these in to keep the shipping, like make sure that it'll all fit in the box, because that's the challenge, right? That was, hey, there's an issue, people are making them, nobody can really ship them, how can we make one that we can ship? So now we are going to attach the wings. So here's my top. We already said how we did the holes. So on, let me show you, because it's a little difficult to see for those of you that just started. Here is the ring board. So what I did prior is I figured out where did I want the wings to wind up. I don't like to see this part in here. I wanted it to kind of be like, I don't want to see the inside. Like I don't want to see this part coming down. I wanted it to be up, and we have to watch out for the points so those don't come on the inside as well. but something like that. And we're really right now trending on, it's going to be a tight fit. But the good thing is these are rubberized. There might be some play in those once I get them attached. But what I did is I took my ring board and I figured out where I wanted my wings to be. Kind of right there. There's a little bit of a bump down in here. But what I did is I took my wood burning tool. It's off now. But I lined it up where I wanted it to go. So I want 3 points seen. And I took my wood burning tool while it was hot. And I basically pushed it all the way in. Pushed it all the way in here so I could see the holes. Pulled this off. And then proceeded to take my wood burning tool and melt it and push it all the way through to the other side. Because you need a way for these to stop flopping. So you have to put it, you have to secure it this way. This has to be the flat part. This way is the way that it had those straps on it, which we cut off. So what I'm going to do is, gotta find our center, which is right here. And I need to take my zip ties and I need to feed them through my holes, because then that just makes the process so much easier. Those are just going right through my center holes, just like that, and those are going to go right into my wings. So if we line up our wings, there we go, hole number 1, hole number 2. Okay, line them up where they're supposed to be. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and zip tie these on and see. We might need to pull down some of our bellies a little bit. Let me flip this over. Yeah, we can just pull these down a bit to cover the bump down, and bring these down a little closer. Just like this. And just move everything over. Make it a little tighter fit. And it's great if we pull these in anyway, because then it causes the outside ones. We want to pull those in a little more. So that makes our diameter for fitting in the box much easier to fit in. Just like so. So there is. I'm trying to see if that'll all fit in the screen. It's kind of hard to show you. It'll look better when we get it on the door. But our wings are attached. I'll snip the zip ties off. We still have our hanger on there. And now we have to attach our dragon face, right? And that's going to be entirely up to you to decide what you want. Some people have chosen to place it here in the center, which is an option you have. You can put that there. I like mine kind of off to the center, because the whole reason for creating this was so that he's kind of curled up on himself. So we're going to be attaching this. Super simple. Should have done this too while my wood burning tool was hot. We could have taken out the little end pieces here that are how they attach the little rubber bands. But we kind of want it to look a little 3D-ish. So we want to be able to pull. You know, if we take the straps and pull the straps around, let me flip this up. We could technically. We could tie our elastic straps on. That would work. Just like so. And look, he's added on. And if you want to add the flames like everybody else has on their dragon, I'm going to pull this down. If you want to add the flames, you would just basically get your decamesh. This is my, it was weird. This was a splice piece inside my roll. which really made me mad. But a lot of times when they do that, they give you extra. So let's try to get a 10 by 10 piece out of this. What you're going to want to do is you can curl them like this. Kind of thing. And you can have him, you know, be billowing out. I would do it with yellow, orange, and maybe the red in the center, but then he has like this could be spewing flames out of the bottom. See, like, look how this looks. Like that. And if we got orange, let me see if I have orange. Out. Open. Added. I was hoping I had orange. Open, but this one's new. So we can do the same thing here. Let's make sure we have a 10 by 10 piece. Normally I don't cut my mesh with a rotary cutter, but we're doing this on the fly. Give you some options. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Let's take this out. Let's blend these together. You would technically zip tie those, right? Like that. Although, I like them to not be quite so even. So let's go short and a long, and let's go long and then short, and mix those. Trying to keep the cut edges together. Let's zip tie that bunch and see what it looks like. Trying to create flames or something that looks like flames on the fly. So like so, right? And then you would hot glue this under the outside, just like this. So it looks like he's got flames coming out of his mouth, right? There's our dragon. And then we have one final piece, which this will be a challenge to figure out, is right now, look everyone, he fits in the 24-24 box. So far, okay. So far he fits. Because here's our dividing line, right? We need our dragon to stay in the 24-24, and he's in the 24-24 dimensions, and he is definitely not any greater than his tail will be at issue. But maybe you can make the tail where the tail detaches and the customer can add it. But here is his tail. So the tail would definitely be something a little... like, I would make it, because it has on here, and this one's, let me find my needle nose pliers. This is kind of wedged in there. This part of the tail is meant to just slide into the back of a child's pants so that he has a dragon tail. So this would just... it's going to kind of slide under one of our zip ties. So let's see where we can get this one to go. And I would probably take my heat gun and I would curl his tail a little bit so it swoops and not hangs straight. So it doesn't have any wire in this, but you could heat gun it and maybe just like, ugh, like let it in the sun for a while so that it has, instead of just a straight swoop, it can kind of curl up. Like I think if it curled up, it would look amazing. But let's figure out how we're going to attach this. Okay, I'm thinking, let me look at zip tie probability holes. Let's go center hole. Let me think about this, because we need it to fit the way it would on a pair of pants. So I'm going to try to go long hole to long hole. Ooh, I wasn't even doing it in the right hole. And it's not long enough, so let me get a longer zip tie. Let's grab an 8-inch, and we should be able to get it to fit. So let me show you what I'm doing. What I want to do is go from this hole to this hole, because you have this clip so that we can clip it so it'll slide in and hang the way that his scales are currently going. That's my theory. I don't know if it'll work that way. We will try it, because I'm all about, like, it needs to be this way. So I'm trying to get it to hook on a zip tie so that it'll hang. But I would love it to do this. Okay, well, let's try. I know where I want it to go. Let me try 2 different little options and see which would work. I'm going to try just like that works. Let me show you what I did. I'm waiting for something to settle over that. Okay. So what I did, let me show you. So up under here, where's my board? My test board. Let me show you what I did with the test board, because you can see without all the other stuff in the way. We got a really big, an 8-inch zip tie, and what I did is I did it this way. So all of my scales are going this way. So I put my zip tie in this way, right? And then I took my tail, because we have to have the spines to the outside. Hang on a sec. Let me get this moved over so you can see. So we have to have the spines on the outside, because that's the way the rest of these are. This has got a, what I did is I slid this in, right, to the position I want, and I cinched my zip tie down, and then the tail is now attached. Okay, you could technically not cinch it down quite so tight, but even just doing this, it allows you to unhook it. And if you had colored zip ties, I don't have colored, but I would do it like this. Like, here's my red zip tie with a Sharpie, so that that becomes something a customer can see. Look for the little whatchamacallit, zip tie, and then what you're going to do is zip tie it in like this, and your tail is attached. Ta-da! So the way it's attached on the dragon, you can't see it because it goes underneath, but actually it's right here. I would leave that for the customer, the zip tie right here, so it's easy for them to find. So I'd be like, okay, take your zip tie, slide your dragon tail in, slide it into your zip tie, like that, nice and tight. You're going to lift this up, and then once they have that in place, you can go ahead and cut the excess piece off, and then just redo all of your, move the scales around to obtain the desired look. Because right now, with the tail attached, we can't ship it. It's way too big. What you can do is you can take it and bring it in like so, and pipe cleaner, you know, take a pipe cleaner and as it's being shipped, pipe cleaner it in like so, because, let's see, does this still fit in our box? Here's our box. Yes, it would still fit in our box. So it's perfect fit. This is the only way we can get it to be a shippable product. So there is that. And then the customer can either, you know, reattach the tail any way they want. Make sure you include instructions, untwist the tail, because the tail was twisted up for shipping purposes to make shipping affordable. But you guys ready to see this on the door? I'm sure you guys are. We've been like putting this all together from the get-go. I'm super excited it turned out. Okay, let me pivot you up. Let me make sure. Can we see the door from there? I think we need to go just a touch higher. There we go. Okay. So remember, we already attached our hanger. Can Cat find the hanger now? Yeah. Hanger is... I'm trying to pull it. Here's my hanger. And there went my hanger. So let us... lower. So give me just 1 second. I'm just going to retie my cord that I had for hanging and make sure it does not come undone. So double knot that. Okay. And his tail fell off. So we need to redo his tail. Okay. Here's that. Let's add his tail for counterbalance purposes, which is right inside. Let's readjust that. Ta-da! There's our dragon. I'll zoom in so you guys can see it. I'm trying to make it to where it'll fit. There is our dragon wreath. What do you guys think? I think it turned out good. I'm super excited for you guys. So this will be super easy for you guys to put together. And we made it so that it fits in the shipping box, right? For the customer. Like I said, flames are optional. You can choose to use the flames or not flames. It's entirely up to you. If you choose not to use the flames, you just pull the flames out. Otherwise, they stay stuffed in there. But there's that. And now you guys have all the info. So, couple quick things. This will be posted for sale on my website later tonight. Steve already pinned the website link on the bottom, catscreationsandmore.com. If you guys would love to join my private group, I welcome and invite you to come join our private group, because we're going to be doing some incredible stuff this week. Love to be able to share it, but we will share it after we create it and then show you what we made. But other than that, everything is good. It's ready to go, and we are all good to go. All right. Like I said, if you'd like to join the private group, that information is listed below. I don't know why Siri's talking now, but love to have you. catscreationsandmore.com private group. Come join us. You can do monthly, you can do yearly, and that's all I have for you. So I will talk to you all soon. Bye for now, everyone.